vibrant display of enthusiasm and talent and the perfect way to end a stimulating day. The journey doesn't stop there. Today we have another exciting day packed with even more knowledge and insights. We'll be continuing with paper presentations, so get ready to be dazzled. Now let's get started on day 2.
It is with great pleasure I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed international key speaker, Dr. Musharraf Hussain. Dr. Musharraf Hussain is working as Head of Research and Postgraduate Study at Faculty of Business and Management at UCSI University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Sir is an active young researcher with over 30 publications. Sir is highly engaged in local and international grants. He serves as an editorial board member for different international prestigious journals. His interests include business strategy and development, financial econometrics, corporate governance, organizational behavior, Islamic finance, knowledge management, and educational system. He has been awarded Best Oral Presentation in local and international conferences, Outstanding Reviewer Award, Best Lecturer, and more. We're happy to have you here, sir. Over to you, sir, for the discussion on the topic, Educational Rehabilitation through Generative Artificial Intelligence.
Very good morning, all of you. I must extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Ankara Foundation Managing Director, Mr. Yasin sir, and also Jamia Islamia, Dr. Samir sir, for inviting me here. So it would be another good experience in my life. And I must extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the young audience here who are eager to learn many more things and share their knowledge. I really thank you, all of you. Can we have a round of applause for all of us? Okay. Today my session is sharing, interactive sharing. So yesterday I was privileged to review some of your work. I found that there are some items should be included. So my session would be not only the sharing, I will share something from the research perspective, and we are not stuck in the research. Our research should be published. When we publish our research to a good and prestigious journal, even though if our existence no more in this art, but our work will be there. People will start reading our work, and people may cite our work. So that is the best reason why we have to publish our prestigious work, so that to share knowledge. Okay, so let me share one of my research paper. So please follow the system. If you want to publish your work to prestigious journal, what things you have to include it. So what is the research flow you have to incorporate, and so on. Okay, so today's topic is educational rehabilitation through the generative AI and the tertiary educational perspective. I believe all of you know now ChatGPT, all the AI things, right? So many people want to, so when you want to do research, why we have to do research? Research comes through the curiosity. If you want to learn something, you want to prove something. So our sixth sense may think that, okay, this could have a relationship with A, could have a relationship with B. But if we talk verbally, people will not understand and people will not believe it. So we have to do research, and we have to do the systematic way, so that people will trust our research and people will value our research, and so on. Okay, so this research I did my research basically on behavioral perspective. I'm not the clinical psychologist or anything else. I do research on behavioral perspective, organizational behavior, how people behave on certain part. Okay, so our topic here, introduction, literature review, methodology, findings, discussion, conclusion, and suggestions. These things will be covered. Okay, I will move a bit faster because I have 3 more slides to share with you guys. So you can see here how you write, how you articulate your introductions. Okay, I give more information so that you guys can understand what is the flow you have to follow. Okay, so you can see here, artificial intelligence is augmented digital technology which aims to enable computers to accomplish different sort of tasks by emulating intelligent human behavior such as interaction, analysis, imagination, discussion, decision making, and accelerated due to the significant advancement in computing and information processing techniques in various sectors including healthcare. You can see from this line you can already find that what is the research gap. I mentioned this one pointer. Is pointer not what? Okay. So you can see here, I already mentioned various sectors. So that means that this AI has been used in various sectors, including the healthcare, finance and investment, and business, human resource management, hospitality and tourism. But surprisingly, prolific researchers usually overlook in higher educational institutions perspective. I also give the citations. So this is how you can articulate your research gap from the beginning, first sentence of your research. So the first sentence, as a reviewer, I am also editorial board member of 4 different journals. They are Scopus. One is Business Strategy and Development, is a Q1 journal, widely publisher. I will share details later on. So as editor, as a review board member, our job is to find out the real knowledge. Because if you submit to the good journals, they will not easily publish your paper. They will go through the systematic literature, they will go through the review process that will, when you submit any paper, that will firstly go to the editor. Editor will select the reviewer. Reviewer will find out the process, whether all the whatever you mentioned, everything correct, it has a significant knowledge gap and or not. So how we as a reviewer, what we see that it has a gap or not. The gap should be the gap you found is being addressed in your research or not. So in this first sentence, you can see here, I already mentioned the importance of AI and how many sectors AI had been used and what is the sectors is already overlooked by the prolific researchers. Okay. So the second sentence, what I make, it is, in fact, while the concept of machine learning and artificial intelligence can be traced back to the 14th century, the concept of artificial intelligence in education is just 35 years old, with AI being introduced the educational sectors through the various channels. You see, the second sentence I emphasize, the machine learning AI has been used many years, but AI in education, that is quite new, that must address. You see, you have to have a coherence. That means the sequence of your sentence. Okay. So then the next, you can see here. So now question may arise. Okay, I understand why we need AI. What is the problem of AI? But why Malaysia? Why Malaysian perspective we need to know? So these are the question comes, right? So third sentence, what I wrote here, Malaysian government trying to be Asian educational hub that intends to develop digital infrastructure and upgrade the way of teaching and learning in tertiary educational settings and encourage more local and foreign students and lecturers to use digital tools. So in this sentence, you would have all to understand why Malaysia, they want to be educational hub. So do you know what is the current educational hub of the world? London. London is education. When we think about the quality education, we think about the London, UK, right? So Malaysia also trying to be educational hub. what is educational hub? Educational hub means many people will come to study in Malaysia. Many foreign university, they launch their campuses, the foreign branch campus in Malaysia, so that they will attract more people. And in order to do so, they need to develop a digital infrastructure. So that's why we need to know the Malaysian perspective, we need to know the AI, we need to know the digital settings in Malaysia. So it has a sequence that will give you the knowledge, and also gap is there. So the third one, you can see here, the following sentence: the auspicious researchers who have done AI investigation have reported tremendous improvement in recent decades. So, and in increasing number of devices and deliver intellectual facilities by inferring the behavior like humans using the techniques such as traditional machine learning, artificial neural network, contemporary deep learnings. With the growing use of AI technology in teaching and learning, instructors have been more opportunity to eliminate repetitive and time-consuming source and respond to the students more quickly, enhancing the adaptive and personalized teaching process. So this sentence, I give more emphasis on benefit of AI. So if the lecturers or teacher use AI, they can reduce the repetitive jobs, and they can offer the personalized or individualized service to their students. All right, let's see the next sentence. So coupled with the numerous benefits of AI application, the Malaysian government emphasized AI roadmap development. McKinsey is a research centers, a tech research company, opined that 50% of labor time in Malaysia is spent on highly automated repetitive jobs. You see, I also give emphasis why Malaysia, as we previous sentence we mentioned that AI can reduce the repetitive job. So then I give the following sentence. I give that McKinsey is a research centers who mentioned that 50% of our research work are repetitive work. So by using the AI, we can minimize or mitigate this problem. So then AI can automate the ordinary operation, enhance the staff capability, free up the times of more engaging the high value added work. AI will potential procedure 6 million new jobs in Malaysia by 2013. I also give emphasis on, so AI can create new opportunity to their employees. As a result, Malaysia is implementing AI initiative with a greater urgency than ever before under the 4IR means in the fourth industry regulations. So my digital blueprint, Malaysian government plan to increase the productivity by 30% across all sectors by 2030. So here I also give some statistics. So Malaysian government, they can increase the 30% their productivity by using AI or AI blueprint. So whatever you give, you have to give the references here. Then McKinsey further indicate that the Malaysian government want to implement AI in every sector but give priority to healthcare and education. The importance of AI has also been realized during the COVID-19. So you see, then I also emphasize more, Malaysians want to implement AI in every sectors, but they give priority to the education and the healthcare. So why? Because during the COVID-19, we've seen that all sectors been closed, but we need to do something. We need to do something online. We transform our physical to virtual, right? So that also help through the AI educations. So then I also give another, according to the Kamaruddin et al. 2021, AI adaptation has a significantly positive impact on Malaysian healthcare sector. So we contributed to the body of knowledge based on the author's knowledge, investigating the influence of AI in Malaysian tertiary educational institutions perspective, which is overlooked by the STEM researchers. So we also give, so other authors who also mentioned that we should do more research on AI. So that would be the extension. So our research would be the extension of this particular research that already published. Okay, then we examine the issue from the behavioral perspective by using the theory of planned behavior and the consumption value theory. You see, whatever research you do, it must align with the underlying theory. So in our theory, in our research, we do theory of planned behavior and consumption value theory. So not only just combining two theory, it may not give the significant contributions. We have to extend the theory by adding additional construct and so on. So you can see here, we use the theory of planned behavior and consumption value theory, and novelty is added to both theories by using the smart technological awareness as a moderating construct. So when you have theory, you have a construct, you have a mediation, you have a moderation that could consider as a good model to be justified for publications. Okay, so now from this, so we already found a gap, we already aim, we already give objectives, we already found how we mitigate or how we solve this research gap by using the theory. Okay, so now based on the theory, based on the gap, we design our objectives, research objectives. You can see here, first we have a total 4 objectives. First objective, to examine the relationship between the perceived ease of use, social influence, self-efficacy and support, social value, emotional value, functional value, smart technological awareness, and intention to adopt AI in Malaysian higher education institution. So we have to give details of the objectives. So this, you see, in our construct we have a more than 10 construct. So that shows that in depth of your study. So then the second objectives is to analyze how behavioral intentions of AI mediate the relationship between the perceived ease of use, social influence, self-efficacy, support, and adoption of AI. So then the second one shows the mediational relationship among the variables. Then the third objective is to investigate the relationship between the intention to adopt. So we also show that intention and actual. Do you know what is the difference between the intention and actual relationship? Intention means, for example, for example, when I wake up in the morning, I have an intention to come Ankara Foundation to do for a space. So this is my intention. It may not happen, it may happen. So if you do a study on only intention, your study is incomplete. So this intention can happen, this could happen the actual performance or not. So I may come, this is my intention. If I really come, that is my actual performance. So if you do the research, many students, they only do the intention. So please, my advice to all of you, please do the complete behavior. So complete behavior means actual behavior you have to mention. As a head of research in my university, so I always give talk to my all postgraduate students, that those who are doing the master's, PhD. So it's all under me, under my care. So I have to give the research talk. My one is only sharing with you guys. Okay. So then I also give them, I also train them. I also have a many postgraduate student supervision. So I always give this kind of instruction to the students so that they may not make mistakes, because when they do the masters and PhD is a long process. For example, if you do not know many things, if you finish 2 years, but at the end, if examiner like me, I will find out this problem. Hey, you are this problem. Then you have to start from the back. It's a wasting of time. And if you are the PhD students, you know how stressful the journey is. The journey is very tedious and process is very troublesome. So if you fail in final stage, so you have to start from the scratch. It's also demotivating. So many PhD students, they cannot finish their study because of this. So at the beginning, so my suggestion or my advice to all of you, you have to find out the problem at the beginning of your research. All right, so we have already researched, we already have objectives. So now the second one is the literature review. So literature review, before go to the empirical review means how the previous study, what found, where, and so on. You have to give the theoretical knowledge, or you have to maintain, you have to give some theoretical theoretical underpinning. You can read my research. I have a research, is one of my research paper published in #1 Education and Computer Journals. It's called the Computer and Educations. In fact factor is 12. Is the #1 because we have a journals ranking. It's a Q1, Q2, and also they have a sequence all over the world. So you can read the Computers and Educations journals. If you write Musharraf Hussain Google Scholar, or if you go to the Scopus database, you can find me. So you can read these journals, then you can see. So then here you can see the first one is we mentioned, since our research paper we use the theory of planned behavior and consumption value theory, CVT. So we have to mention, so many audience they may not know what is the TPB, what is the consumption. Our job is to educate you. For example, you are not the educational background. When you read a paper, what you want to understand, right? If I directly jump to the higher level, you may not understand. So I have to educate you systematically. So I have to give the definition. So what is the theory of planned behavior? So what are the constructs that discuss about it? So then you can see here, theory of planned behavior is an important social psychology model that has gained widespread use of predicting and understanding the human behavior. So it emphasizes the importance of individual's attitude. What is the attitude? So attitude, anybody want to volunteer? What is the attitude? How we should our attitude from the research perspective. What is the subjective norms? Okay, attitude means, for example, if you want to perform anything, so you will do your own analysis. Okay, what benefit I will get? Okay, if you think that you will get a positive benefit, then you will show the positive attitude. Then what is the subjective norms? Subjective norms means, for example, when you do a study, your lecturer asks you to do something. For example, your lecturer asks, okay, from today, no more physical class, all virtual class. So that means you will follow these instructions. So this instruction is called the subjective norms. So then the third one is the perceived behavioral control. What is the perceived behavioral control? Perceived behavioral control means, for example, you have your own internet. So you know how to use internet. Then you will show the positive attitude to adopt the online services or online virtual classes and so on. So you can see it has a sequence. So you have to explain how this theory works. So what is the theory? Theory means established fact that already been established, and people use this theory can find a similar kind of result. Okay, then we have, then I also mentioned understanding the TPB can be useful in designing the intervention or programs aimed to changing behavior, as it highlights the factors that influence the decision making and behavior. So you also need to tell what is the theory, why we have to tell. So this theory positively or negatively affect the people's decision making process. All right. So then, by addressing the attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavioral controls, the TPB offers a framework that can help facilitate behavior change by identifying what motivates people to act a certain way and how modify those motivations. So now you can see how TPB impact by using these factors. Then we have another theory. So we have another theory, is called the CBT, Consumption Value Theory. So CBT is a popular theoretical framework for understanding the current possible factors that might affect the consumer choice. So the prior researcher has used CBT for examining the user choice behavior over a smartphone. So you can see, I also mentioned what is the CBT? Why people use the CBT? Which sector people use CBT? CBT. So many factors I also mentioned. So when you mention that this theory has been used or has been implemented in different sectors. So you have to give all the references. So when you give all the references, people will understand, okay, these are the sectors, this TVT has been used, but educational sector is still new. So that means the gap is there. So that means people will understand, okay, this is the theoretical gap for this research. All right, so now, so I also explained many, so I think I should not go all details. You can read later on. Then you have to give the empirical findings. So theoretical findings itself not enough to justify to carry on your research. So you have to give the empirical finding also. So empirical finding, you can see here, I give details. So what are the author's name, what are the covered area, and what are the methodology and time frame, what are the key findings. So if you give this kind of chart or this kind of table, people understand. So who is sectors? So you can see, for example, Chen et al. 2022. So covered area, they did not mention any covered because it's a literature review type as a study. So how many? What is the time frame? 2000 to 2019. And what is the key finding? The application of AI in education has significantly improved in recent years. So the researchers mainly focus on AI in tutoring system. See, so this research, they only use AI in tutoring system, and they only focus on literature review. Their time frame is 2000 to 2019, and the area they know it. The area means which area, which country they focus on. They focus on US, Malaysia, Singapore, and so on. So from these sectors, you can also understand the research gap. So mostly you can find that most research are theoretical, most research are literature review type, and one research from Australia, and most research are and the qualitative research and the conceptual research. So there is a gap for empirical research, and there is a gap for quantitative research, and there is a gap for a research area, that means a Malaysian perspective. So you can see from this table also you can sense that there is a gap that must need to mitigate. All right, so let's move on. So you can see here, even they also have a Saudi Arabia, they have India, they have a Nigeria, they have a China. And what methodology they use? They use the structural equation modeling. They use all the SEM, structural equation modeling. So now from this kind of table, you can understand the methodological gap, which area, what is the time frame, and so on. So now you can see you have to give the your conceptual framework or your research model. You can see here. So these are all the left hand side are independent variable. So these independent variables, they also have a moderation, and all the smart technological awareness is the moderation. Okay, so we also have a mediation. So you can see A1 is a direct relationship, H1 is the direct relationship, H2 is the mediating relationship. Okay, so H4 is the direct relationship, H5 is the mediational relationship. So we have a total 16 hypotheses. Total 16 hypotheses. So you can, from this conceptual, if you are active researcher, you can find that what is the research gap and how this research contribute. So okay, so you have to tell people that, okay, what is the new, what is the significant contribution from the theoretical perspective and practical perspective. Okay, so then you can see the research methodology. So research methodology also you have to tell every step. When you proceed every step, it should be something novelty, something different. Okay, so you have to tell why you choose this method, why not others, and what is the benefit of this method, and so on. Okay, you can see here the top 10 private universities in West Malaysia based on the student enrollment were selected. Is it long?
So the timing, you have two presentations.
Oh, it's too long, right?
So
What is the time now?
no, you have time, sir. Till 11 you can take the first presentation.
Okay.
And followed by we'll take a break, sir. And alias Mustafa sir is taking only for 15 minutes. So after that we'll continue your second presentation.
Mine is briefly, I can finish it.
No, one presentation you can do now. You have two presentations, sir.
Yeah, if you don't want, okay, I'm
No,
also
we
okay.
have time. We have
Oh,
time.
you have time.
We have
Okay, because I want to just share so that they can understand something.
So we have the first presentation
So-
of yours till 11.
Until 11.
11. Then we'll take a short break, 15 minutes, followed by alias Mustafa sir will be joining virtually
Online, okay.
for 15 minutes only.
Okay.
So we have more time. So 11:13 to
12:30.
12:15. Again, your
Okay, sure.
You're clear, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So sorry. So are you okay? Distracted already? With me still? Okay, good. So you can see here, the first one is, so when you do the research method, you have to tell details. If the information is missing, the reviewer asks question, okay, this is missing. So that means your research is not complete. So they may straight away reject it. Okay? So you can see here, first research is the top 10 private universities in West Malaysia based on the on students enrollment in West Malaysia for data collection. So in research method, you have to tell your sampling framework, okay, your methodology, and so on. Okay. So in my first line, you can see I have collected data from 10 private universities. So I can generalize all the private universities. So now people may ask question, why taking data from only private universities? Okay, why? Because Malaysia, they have a West Malaysia and East Malaysia. Okay, so why I choose the West Malaysia? I give justification. Because West Malaysia, they have a more number of private universities. So that's why I selected West Malaysia. Okay. Then the second, a survey was conducted using the questionnaire. Okay, the choice of focusing on the West Malaysia is because the region has highest concentration of top private universities in Malaysia. So when you give something, if you give some direct statement, it must align with the citation. If you don't citation, if you give something, people may not believe it. Okay, so now you can see, I already mentioned this West Malaysia, they have the highest number of private universities. I also give the justifications. Then the respondents selected are those who have active studentship in foundation, undergraduate and postgraduate program and actively working in any universities. So I also give who are the respondent, in which category, how you selected them. So I selected them based on those who are active students, those who are doing foundation, degree or master students, and those who are actively working in any private universities. All right. So and non-probability sampling method approach was applied to collect the data because all private universities do not disclose their students and staff databases, and genuine attempts to obtain such information were futile. So you see, I give the justification why because we have a two research method. One is the probability and non-probability. So probability means if you know that all database, all the people has opportunity to be selected, then only you go for probability. So we go for non-probability. So you have to give justification why go for non-probability. We go for non-probability because many students database are not available in online, because as a researcher you cannot find all the students, you cannot communicate all the students across the country. So we need to rely on the online source. So online source, all students database are not available. So that's why we go for non-probability. So non-probability also they have more than 5. So which non-probability sampling has been used, that also we question, right? So let's go to the next slide. So you can see here, a snowball sampling method was applied as it was difficult to contact willing participants. At last, students of the respective universities were approached and asked to fill up a copy of the questionnaires. So I also mentioned, yes, previous sentence we mentioned that we go for non-probability sampling, right? So this sentence I mentioned, I go for snowball sampling. What is a snowball sampling? Snowball sampling means I give questionnaire. For example, I give questionnaire 1 person. Okay, this 1 person fill up, then I ask, hey, do you have any friend? Can you please give the details of your friends so that I can distribute this questionnaire to your friends? You see, it has a sequence. So it has a less bias because you are selecting the people, those who already fill up and those who are potential to be filled up. Okay, so then you have to go to the the respondents who fill up the questionnaire, okay, this one already done. So the respondents who fill up the were requested to recommend eligible respondents. So the questionnaire were distributed to face. Why I distribute questionnaire face to face? To reduce the biasness. Why biasness? For example, if I distribute questionnaire online, I don't know who is filling up. So for example, I distribute person A. Person A may be just eligible, but they may not fill up all, or they may, because when you distribute link, but you don't know who is actually filling up. So maybe somebody, so this person may have no time. So the person distribute or transfer this link to another person fill up. So that means you did not get the actual respondents. So that what it creates, so what would happen if somebody fill up on behalf of you, that means it creates the biasness. So the result you will get, it may not actual result that you're supposed to get. Okay, so that's how you have to think. Okay, then the pre-test and pilot study of 50 respondents were carried out before a total of 510 refined questionnaire were distributed. So we distributed a total 510 questionnaires. Okay, so then you have to do the pre-test and pilot study. What is the pre-test? Pre-test means it will give you the contentability. Contentability means, for example, whatever you wrote, is it correct or not? Is it understandable or not? Is there any mistake or not? So to find out all the things, you have to do the pre-test. What is the pilot study? Anybody know what is the pilot study? So what is the pilot study? Okay, so what is the purpose of pilot study? Okay, good. Your name is Salva, right? Or what's the name? Okay, can we have an applause for Muskan? Good job, Muskan. Yes, whatever you said, the pilot study, actually pilot study need to distribute the target population. Why? So you have to distribute pilot study to target respondent, a small group of target respondent, to understand whether this questionnaire serve the purpose or not. Okay, then you have to do, after a field test, pilot study, then you really understand that is there any mistake, so is there any people understanding your questionnaire or not. Okay, then the data from the remaining questionnaires, okay, so out of 510 questionnaire in main study, 460 respondents were received, indicating a response rate of 90%. So you have to write the response rate also. You see, we distributed 510 questionnaires. Okay, we received only 461 respondents. So that means our response rate is more than 90%. Okay, then the data from the questionnaire were analyzed. The 35 questionnaires were excluded due to the erroneous entries. So we also mentioned, so whatever questionnaire we received, we also excluded 35 questionnaires. Why? Because of error. They may make mistake, they may not fill up, they may not completed their questionnaire, and so on. Okay, so the data from the remaining questionnaire were checked, and for possible missing data and outliers, where 19 questionnaires were omitted due to the aforementioned reason. So the final data set came 407 questionnaire and were usable for the subsequent data analysis. So we have to give this statement. So you tell that, so how many final questionnaire after minusing, after excluding all the problems or all the mistakes. All right, so we found here 407, which is eligible to do our subsequent analysis. Okay, so then the third, so have you ever heard the common method bias? Common method bias, if you do the empirical research or quantitative research, you have to do the common method bias, CVT, or common method variance test. So what is the purpose? So if you collect data by using a single questionnaire, so there may have a biasness. So in order to remove or in order to mitigate the biasness, we have to do the common method bias or common method variance test. In order to do that, we can do few different ways we can mitigate this common method bias. Okay, first one is so when you collect the measurement items, okay, when you collect the measurement item, you should collect from the multiple. For example, so when you do the research, when you prepare the questionnaire, you should have a measurement items, right? So age is construct or variable. So do you know what is the variable and construct? Difference between the variable and construct? Okay, no mind. So variable is thing that is the quantitative data is publicly available. The construct means you will create based on the information that you use the questionnaires. Okay, so when you develop your questionnaire, you should have a measurement items. Okay, when you have a measurement items, so then that as a measurement items you have to collect or you have to adopt or adapt. Adopt means you will take exactly what it is. Adapt means you modify based on your study context. Okay, so that way you can mitigate the problem. Another one is, for example, we can use the different Likert scale. We have a 5 Likert scale, 7 and 9 and so on. But for example, one question, one variables or one construct, you use the 5 Likert scale. Another one, suddenly you go to the 7 Likert scales. So when you differentiate, then people will think if all the Likert scales same, people will close their eyes and just stick, right? When you have a variations, then people will think. When people will think means they will more concerns what they are writing. So that remove the biasness. Then we have another. So this is the procedural process to remove the common method bias. We have also a statistical bias, a statistical process. So we can do, you can see here, as a statistical remedy, Harman single factor test was executed. The Harman single factor test result revealed that variance expressed by the first factor is 32.08, which is far less than the maximum threshold of 50%. So we not only did the procedural remedy, we also did the statistical remedy, which is that Harman single factor test. By using test, our variance could be that is more if less than 50%, we can conclude that we do not have a common method bias. So our finding shows that the common method bias ratio is 32.08, which is less than 50%. So we ensure that in our research we do not have a common method bias. Okay, so let's move on the next. So the findings. So these are the findings. Is more on how you explain. Okay, so nothing to. So we can see here we have two different model. One is the measurement model. Another one is the structural model. What is the measurement model? Measurement model, they will check the reliability, validity of your model. Okay, reliability. How we do the reliability? We have. You can see here reliability. We need to check the reliability based on the factor loading. Okay, the factor loading. The factor loading. If you do research something on the data is if you do research something on the measurement item is already been tested, then the factor loading it should be more than 0.5 and above. So if you see here, all the measurement items factor loading is 0.5 above. So that means it shows the reliability. Then we can also have a Kornberg alpha. Kornberg alpha value should be also 0.5 and above. So here our Kornberg alpha is all 0.5 above. Then we have a composite reliability, which is also 0.5 above. So we also have a VE, which is also 0.75 above. So what it shows that reliability and validity has been achieved. Okay. Then we also have. So now we can also check the measurement models. Okay, measurement models validity through the Fornell and local method. Okay, Fornell and local method, the relationship between the variables cannot be more than 0.9. So here you can see our variables is all 0.9 below 0.9. Then so we also use the HTMT model. So now people may ask, So we can convince the reviewer or leaders that, so many people, they only use the formal and local method. But we extend this traditions. We use to extend our findings, we also use the HTMT, which is more advanced. So that shows that our contribution of the study, our studies contributions, okay? So then this is our structural model finding. So this shows that relationship is whether it is significant or insignificant, okay? So here then you have to do the conclusion and discussion. Conclusion and discussion, basically you will tell that which variable has a significance, which is not significant. If it's significance, why is it same with the previous study or it's different? If not significant, why is not significant? What could be the reason? So you have to explain all the things under the conclusion and discussion sectors. Then you have to go to you have to put these limitations, and so you can see here, yesterday I commented something on limitations. So you can see here, regardless of our studies substantive contributions, it is not without limitations. Our study includes only private universities in West Malaysia, and thus the findings received from this study do not necessarily reflect the behavior of other public universities in Malaysia or private universities in East Malaysia. So you have to see how you give your limitations. Even though our research study have a lot of contributions, but it still have a limitation because we collected data from only private universities. We excluded public universities. So in the future, so the next sentence I also give. So this is to say, though our findings offer meaningful implication that public university may also be considered, we cannot directly infer that our findings are fundamental to both private and public universities in Malaysia. Therefore, while our findings may be useful to both private and public universities, they rely much targeted importance on their implication. So you can see, I also give suggestion. So even though our results have a substantial contribution, but it's not refer to the public university. So the future researchers, they may include the private and public universities together. Then hence the future researchers consider exploring the aims and objectives of this study with the obtained data from public and private universities. So that's how you have to position your limitations and suggest something is related. Don't give something it's not related. For example, yesterday a study found that they did something on quality review research, but they're suggesting something on the quantitative. So it's not related. Your limitation and suggestion should be in line. Okay. So with this, I conclude here. Thank you very much. You have any questions? Any questions? If anybody has any question, you can ask. Or if anybody want to clarify regarding the research things, you always feel free contact me. So this is my so you can see here my email address. So you can feel free email me so that we can, if you have any idea, we can do research and I can guide you more. Okay? Thank you very much. Okay.
So I'm really confused between what is common method bias. Like, what is it? Like, we are trying to change the questioning bias, like, so that the method which we are using for population, what is it? We have to give two different sort of methods for one population?
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I understand your question. So common method bias means basically if you collect data from a single questionnaire, okay, people when they do fill up the questionnaires, they directly, for example, if there is a no change, we have a, for example, let's say we have a 5 Likert scale, okay. Scale 1, I strongly disagree. Scale 5, I strongly agree. Okay, so when all the construct you mentioned is all same, then people will sleep and click on without reading. So when you, for example, one construct, one variable, you use the 5, another variable, you use the 7, then people will suddenly think, thing means there will be more concern when fill up. So that will reduce the biasness. Why bias create if there is no changes? Am I answer your question? Okay.
In psychology, when a tool is developed, we already developed the psychometric property. So in psychology, when we develop a tool, already we make sure that the tool is valid and the tool is reliable. So after doing that also, we should do this common method.
Yes. Thank you very much for your questions. If, for example, you already have your own model, everything. Okay, you already checked the reliability. So if you have any extra things, that will be more convincing. That will be more convincing. That if I suggest that if you do additional tests, that will be more great. So people tell that whatever data we have is not biased. No, we do not only check our reliability, we also check reliability through different tools. Yes. Okay, thank you.
In the same line, one more test you mentioned, that formal lacquer method. My question is again, even if we have psychometric property for a tool, again this has to be done?
Because it's up to you. It's up to you. For example, you did in research. For example, you test your hypothesis different way. So it depends which method you use. So this method is additional. For example, you already tested your measurement model. Okay, so but in our model also, we use the measurement model. We do the two different tools, funnel and local, and also the HTMT.
Any other queries?
Okay, okay, thank you very much. I have a few other things. So just now I show how to develop your research, right? So my next presentation, even though I was allocated only 1 hour, but I want to offer these things so that I think, because I have many students who do the research, they want to learn something. So the second session, I want to give something on the how to publish your research. What are the things, what are the do's, what are the don'ts you have to follow. I believe this will be motivate you, because these things also I learn attending like you many workshops, training, 2-3 days training. So I will briefly give because knowledge is a sharing. If you share, you will extend. It's also from the Islamic perspective, it's like a sadaqah. So I think if you share, so if my community can get at least little bit, it will be good. I will be more happy. Okay, thank you very much. I will come back again.